Welcome back, JD Parker students, to another day of virtual learning. Today is Wednesday, May 20th, and it is our 37th day. So today we are reviewing place value. And I found this picture here. This is in a cavern, and you have stalactites and stalagmites coming from the ceiling is stalactites. Stalagmites come from the ground, but a very cool picture. So today we're going to review place value. And before we jump into that, we're going to review the answers from yesterday. Yesterday we did order of operations. And yesterday I wanted you to make sure you did watch the video. So I made the secret words the answers to all the evens. Also, Mr. Khan went over order of operations very thoroughly in his lesson. If you did not watch that yet, please watch that. I promise you it is worth it. So, order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, is an acronym to remember the order of importance of what you do. You always work from left to right, but as you go left to right, you look for all of these as you go. So like if I was starting with this one right here, number one, the first thing I want to look for is parentheses. So I go through the whole problem going from left to right, and the parentheses is 4 plus 5. So adding goes first here. And then after I get done looking at all of the, because you're going to get into large math where there's going to be quite a few parentheses you'll have to solve. After you're done looking for parentheses, then you look for exponents. There are no exponents here. But the first thing you should have done was solve that. 4 plus 5 is 9. And then now you have 9 times 2. And you can drop the parentheses after you solve the parentheses. It means you don't need it anymore. The parentheses is there just to tell you, do this first. Parentheses will always go first. And even in very high levels math of calculus, you're going to be using a parentheses in any high level math. So you have parentheses, and then you look for exponents, and then next you look for multiplication and division. You look for these at the same time because these are together. They are the same order of importance. One's just working in one direction, and division's working in the opposite direction. So multiplication, division go together, and this is step 3. And there is multiplication. So 9 times 2 is 18. The answer is 18, and this was incorrect. Not correct because it should have been add and then multiply. And then the last step in the order of operations is adding and subtracting, which goes together because one works forward and one works backwards. They are the same, and this is step 4. You will always use this in any math, anywhere, so make sure you learn this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Here, I see addition, I see division, and I see parentheses. Parentheses goes for first, which happens to be 16 divided by 4. It's 4. And then you rewrite the rest of it, leaving this out since we solved it. So 12 plus 4 would be 16 is the answer. And so the first thing I did was I divided. So this is also not correct. The next one, let me make this bigger so you can see it up close, is 6 plus 2 times 5. Well, even if the parentheses was not here, you would still do 2 times 5 first because plus is in the last thing we do. So parentheses is here. So the first thing I do is what is inside the parentheses, which is going to be 2 times 5 is 10. And you can drop the parentheses. You don't have to write them again, but if you want to, you can. It doesn't matter. It just means there's a 10 there. So you can't do anything. Now it's just adding is all that's left. So 16 is the answer to that problem. Number 7, 8 times 9 minus 3. 9 minus 3 is parentheses. 9 minus 3 goes first, and that is a 6. 9 minus 3 is 6. So I'm going to rewrite it. 8 times 6. 8 times 6, or 6 times 8 is 48, and that is the answer. And then coming down to number 9. They said to show each step, and I did not explain this before. Show each step just means rewrite it as you go. That's it, like I've been doing the whole time. So 6 plus 9 divided by 3, this would be 6 plus, and solve this first, 3. 6 plus 3 is 9. Done. And then the next one, I see a parentheses. Parentheses always goes first. 49 divided by 7 is a 7 because 7 times 7 is 49. Rewrite it is how you show the steps. 7 plus 5 is 12. Going on to number 13. I see parentheses. Always do parentheses first, and that's going to be a 15. 17 minus 2 is 15. Now we have 45 divided by 15. So this is what you're doing now. So if you count by 15, you can skip count up. 15 plus 15 is 30, plus another 15 is 45. So 3 is the answer. It takes 3 15s to equals 45. So 45 divided by 15 is 3. And number 15 is we have this. Can't do that first because I see parentheses. So you just rewrite this. Now, everything inside the parentheses is getting solved, which is a 4. 12 minus 8 is 4, so just rewrite 4. Now I have 8 times 9 minus 4. Do not do this first, which is 5, because you'll get 40. That's not right. 8 times 9 is 72. Now minus 4, and you will get 68. 68 is the answer to that one. It is important you rewrite the problem as you go because that's showing you the steps. Even great mathematicians will write everything out. It is a very good practice to get into. Do not hold things in your head. I can do it. I can hold things in my head, but I make silly mistakes, really silly mistakes when I do it. So I always write everything out just so I don't do something silly. Silly mistakes will get the best mathematician in problems and trouble. So make sure you are writing it out. And then the last one, I can't get there. Let me adjust this. The last one, we already wrote it out. Mr. Randall wanted to buy 4 shirts, remember? And the shirts were $20 each, but now they're $5 off. So 20 minus 5, you have to solve first before you multiply times 4 because he's going to buy 4. So that means he's buying 4 shirts at $15 each. Now, you can either add 15 4 times or you can do 15 times 4. Which is 20. Regroup that 2. That's 4. Add that in. That's 6. $60. If you didn't know that, 15 plus 15 is 30. And then another 30 is 60. So the answer is $60. Which is great because he was going to pay $80 for 4 shirts, but since they were $5 off for each shirt, now he's only going to pay $60 for 4 shirts. Today we are doing place value. And I chose this because I wanted to make sure we reviewed place value. Place value was a standard that we started in the beginning of the school year, and we really, really, really went through this carefully. And you're going to see as we go through this again, it's just going to ring some bells at how well we went through this. So this is going to be a very easy task for you because we spent a whole month, and it was the very first month of school, we went over this. Now in 5th grade, they go through the millions and they go and also into the decimals too. So we're going to add that in as we go. And here, at the bottom, the question at the top said the population of Idaho is 1,550,000. They want you to write that in standard form, word form, expanded form. Now, if you remember, I made this cute little chart that pulled out and you could see how the digits were on top of each other in expanded form. But there was also a 4th way, and that's the base 10 blocks forms. Now that you're in 4th grade, we did not use the base 10 block forms very often because it gets difficult to draw out big numbers using blocks. and decimals. It actually gets pretty impossible when you get higher up. So standard form, word form, and expanded form are the only three you're going to be using from this point out. But do remember that base 10 block forms looks like this. This is 1,000 cube, just 1,000. We don't have 1,000,000 cubes. As you can see, it would take a lot of these to equal that. So we're going to do just standard form, word form, expanded form. Standard form. Standard form is the regular old form. It's just writing it the way it should be written. Word form is now using English. You use English and you keep commas. You keep commas to separate every period. They call these periods. I used to call them the houses. So you had the millions family house here. This is the millions period. Then you had the thousands. This is the thousands periods. Then you have the ones. Some people call it the hundreds, but this is the ones. So you have the ones, comma. You always put a comma to separate the households or the periods. Then you have the thousands, comma. Then you have the millions, and then you'll get into the billions and so on and so forth. So let's try this. Use place value to read and write the number. Standard form, word form, expanded form. So it looks like they're going to give us the word form. I see 62,080,126. So working on a place value chart. Sorry, here we go. If I was to write this into where it goes, which I'm going to do for you right now, it is 62 million. So I go to the million household, which is right here. Here's the million period. I need 62 million. I need to put 62 right where the comma ends. 62. Remember, when you read the word 62, you read where it's at, 62 million. I can't put the 6 here because that's 100. And you always say the word 100 when you're reading a word. So 62 million. 62 million. 80,000. So I'm going to go to the thousands household and I need 80. 80,000. 80,000. And then I have 126. 100, you always say the word hundreds. You always say the word hundreds right there. 26. Now I can't leave this empty, so I put a 0 in there, and 0 and empty are basically the same thing. So when I read this, I have 62,080,126. And that's what it says, 62,080,126. Notice how they use the commas. Also, notice they use the hyphen mark. The hyphen mark is always between the tens and the ones. So this is the 10 millions, and this is the 1 million place, and they hyphen it with the words. They also hyphen this. They would have hyphened this, except 80 doesn't need to be hyphened. There is a 0 there, so you don't have to hyphen it. So 62,080,126. And you keep the commas. No matter what form you're in, you keep the commas. Hyphens, you only use a word form. So 62 million, this is the regular old standard form. 80,000, so I need an 80 in the thousands place. There's no hundreds. See, it would say hundreds if there was. 126. 126. And there is no parts. There's no decimal points, so the period would be right there, and there would be no, because it didn't say anything, so you don't need the period if it didn't. Expanded form. Now you take each digit and you put it in the right spot. So the 60 here, it would be a 6 with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. So you have your zeros falling in. Next, you're going to have your 2 millions, which means I have my 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So there's my 2 million. 80,000. Now I just need 126. 100. They put the 20 and they put the 6. So this is expanded form. You just broke it out according to place value. This is 6, 10 million. This is 2 and the 1 million. This is an 8 and the 10,000. This is a 1 and the 100. This is a 2 and the tens. And this is a 6 and the ones. You just broke it up. So today you're going to be reviewing this. This is a very good review. However, we're dealing with large numbers now. So we have 3,298,076. Write it in word form and expanded form. They have it in standard. So they're going to have you do all of these in all three forms, but they're going to give you one form. So here they give you the standard, here they give you the word, here they give you the expanded, and they want you to do the others. So here is 3,298,000, 76 hyphen 76. So all the forms have the commas. The word form is the only one that uses the hyphen, and it only uses it with the tens and the ones place in each place value here. Expanded form, now I'm going to take each digit, so I have a 3 in the millions, and I'm going to write 3, and it's going to be a million. Remember, ones, tens, hundreds, comma, ones, tens, hundreds, comma, ones, tens, hundreds, comma. That's the pattern. It'll never change. Now I have a 2 in the 100,000 plus 2 in the 100,000. Now I have a 9 in the 90,000. And now I have an 8 in the 1,000. I have no hundreds. I have no comma there. I have a 70 and then a 6. There you go. 3 million plus 298,076. It sounds the way it's written. So that is word form and expanded form, which are going to be our words of the day. Number 1 is word. Number 2 is expanded. Word form, expanded form. Just word and expanded. You don't have to write form. All right, so the next section says read and write the numbers in the two forms. Now they gave us word, so now we need to do the standard and we need to do the expanded. And you are going to do these two on your own, using that as a model. Coming down here to number 4, read and write the number in the two other forms. So not sure why they broke that up, but it's the same as that up there. And then this section is write the value. Value. It has a digit underlined. So this first one is a 5 underline. It's not just a regular 5. Is it a 5 tens, a 500, a 5,000? Actually, this is in the 10 thousands place value. So the value of this is 50,000, 50,000. This is a 50, and then you can see the value if you just think about expanded form. So this is 3,356,000. So this is a 50. And then let's also do this last one here. This is a 3, but it's not just a regular 3. It's a 30 in the millions house. So the value would be 30, comma, and then make sure you have your in the millions. So this is the thousands house or period. This is the millions. It's 30 in the millions, so make sure yours is 30 in the millions. And the last question. According to one organization, there are about 93,600,000 pet cats and about 77 million 500,000 pet dogs in the US? Are there more pet cats or dogs? So, of course, this is setting it up with greater than or less than. 93 million is definitely greater than 77 million. So there are more cats. There's definitely more cats. And you can put your secret words down here for the day next to cats. All right, my friends, so that is it for this day. You only have, let's see, I gave you a few answers. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to do on your own, and then the answers to the other is right there. All right, I shall speak with you again tomorrow. Enjoy your Wednesday. Bye-bye.